What's up, guys? So I saw this post on Reddit, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but he was basically talking about how he cares so much about girls and how to stop caring so much. You know, every interaction he goes into, he's overthinking, and even when he's not around girls, he's always thinking about them, and he just wants a girlfriend so bad, and he sees friends and people around him and it seems like they don't care, and he just wants to know how to get to that point. So I'm making this video for everyone who's kind of in the same situation, how to get to the point where you quote unquote don't care about girls. Heavy on the quote unquote, and you'll see why. Okay, how to actually not care. So there's really only 3 ways to not care about girls, aka have outcome independence. 1 is having abundance. 2 is having an abundance mentality. All right, those are actually 2 completely different things. And then the 3rd is to actually legitimately not care. All right, so I'm just going to kind of give definitions for all those. So I actually have a little definition I made right here. So abundance is meeting or exceeding your personal threshold of security for quantity, quality, and type of sexual relationships. Okay? Everyone has their own threshold. So some guys, it's just, you know what, if I could just get maybe a new girl a month, then I'll be fine. Other guys, they need to have 5 plates simultaneously, at least 5 plates at all times, and that's when they feel secure. Basically, it's whatever point you personally have to where you're like, you know what, I feel good right now. I don't have this need to go out and get more women. All right. So the second way is to have an abundance mentality. All right. So abundance is having that minimum threshold. An abundance mentality is knowing you can achieve that minimum threshold. Like, you might not necessarily have it right now, but you know you can get it fairly easily. It's basically having the same level of emotional stability regardless of your actual level of abundance. So I'll give a personal example to kind of highlight the difference between the two. So when I very first started really going at it, it's what I call my crazy year, where I got over 100 cold approach lays in a year. I was approaching in super high volume, all right? And the first time I got to the point where I had 3 consistent plates, and then also I was hooking up with new girls every week. And you know, the plates were kind of, every once in a while, one would leave and one would come back in, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of got complacent. Well, here, before I talk about that. So basically, while I had those plates and while I was getting new girls, I felt on top of the world. I'm like, oh man, I'm a fucking badass. I'm a player. I'm fucking awesome. And because I had that feeling and I kind of got an ego about it, I started getting complacent. I'm like, you know, these girls are going to stick around. And it's like, oh, I know I can get new girls, blah, blah, blah. So I stopped approaching as much, and I kind of just started getting lazy with everything. And then literally randomly over the course of, it was like 2 or 3 weeks, I literally lost all 3 of those plates for various reasons. You know, anytime you have a girl who's kind of a consistent plate, all those relationships are going to end at some point, okay? It might be 3 months, it might be fucking 2 years, but eventually they're all gonna end for one reason or another. Maybe the relationship just runs its course. Maybe one girl wants to get into a relationship and you don't, so she kind of moves on, whatever. Well, it just so happened that the time when the relationship expires happened for all 3 of those girls within a very short time span. So in 2 or 3 weeks, I lost 3 plates. And also because I was literally hardly approaching at all, like single digit approaches per week, which for me is abysmal. So I lost all 3 plates, and also I wasn't even talking to new girls. Like, I didn't even have any dates set up for the future. So all of a sudden, all that mentality I had where I was like, oh, I'm fucking awesome and yeah, I got this shit handled, I went right back to being fucking needy. I was like, oh my God, like, what if I can't do it? What if I can't do it again? And maybe that was just a fluke and I messed up and all this other shit. And I probably didn't go right back to exactly where I was before getting them, but I went pretty close. You know, I got needy and anxious and all this other shit. So I went back to approaching. Slowly I built up getting a rotation again and hooking up with new girls and all that other stuff. All right. And I learned my lesson after that. I learned to, no matter what you have, to always just keep approaching. Always have new leads coming in, because you never know when there's going to be a random dip. And that is the only time where I straight up just went back down to 0, because I was always approaching and trying to get new girls in. Now, after I re-got all those plates, and then also going through ups and downs, now I'm at the point where I realize that I can just rebuild it if I need to. That was the first time where I really solidly had consistent plates and solidly had new hookups outside of my plates every single week. Hold on just a second. So that was the first time that I had built it up. So I wasn't used to the process yet. But then once I did it multiple times, now I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter what level of abundance I have, I know that I can get it. So the first time I had the plates, I had abundance. It was just, okay, I have this thing right now, I feel good. Now I have abundance mentality where even if I don't have it, I still feel okay, because I know I can get it at some point. Like, I know my numbers, I know the work I have to do, all that other stuff. So that's the difference between abundance and abundance mentality. My approach volume right now is literally probably a 10th of what it was during my crazy year. You know, most people, when they get into pickup, they kind of have their big, like their huge own version of a crazy year. Maybe it's not even a year, maybe it's 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But they have some period where they go really fucking hard at it. And then they kind of get what they want out of it. And then they kind of drop off, like they continue to do it, but just not to the same degree. Pretty much everyone goes through that. For most people, the pickup phase is kind of a phase. And then you kind of just incorporate it into the rest of your life, and it's kind of less a priority. But even though I'm not hooking up as much as I used to, I don't feel insecure. I don't feel, oh God, I don't have any plates right now. Oh my God, because I have an abundance mentality. All right. So that's the difference between abundance and abundance mentality. The third way to not care is to actually legitimately just literally not give a shit at all. This one is basically impossible. Okay. You can't actually not care about having sex. That's like half the reason we even still exist, is to replicate and then care for the things that we make. Like, it's a biological, it's not a need to live, but it might as well be a fucking need. Like, you can't actually not care about it. Anything that you would even be trying to not care about means you do care about it. So you can't actually legitimately not care. If you actually didn't care, then you would just actually never have sex your entire life. Okay. So that's not actually it's not an actual goal to literally not care. So for abundance mentality, you actually already have abundance mentality for a whole bunch of things in your life right now. So, for instance, you don't care that much about, or you don't think that much about having clean, easily accessible drinking water, all right? You just kind of always have it around. So even if you don't have it around, you know that you could get it within, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes max. You just go to a sink, or you go, even if you're driving or something, you stop at a gas station, whatever. So you never think about it because you pretty much always have abundance, meaning you have it right now, or you have an abundance mentality, meaning you know you can actually get it, okay? So that's how, or that's why we don't care about having clean, easily accessible drinking water. Now, let me scroll over. Oh man, did I forget to take I forgot to take a screenshot of one of my notes. Hold on just a second. All right, so that's an example of something where we have abundance and abundance mentality. The only reason why we don't think about it all the time is because we have it. There's no reframe, there's no mental whatever. We actually have it, so we don't think about it. Now, if you look at some remote tribe somewhere that has to walk 20 miles both directions to get some water, they have to care about it, okay? They don't have an abundance of it currently at that moment, like they have to ration it to a certain degree. And even though they do know that they can get it, like there's a water source that's really far away, it's extremely difficult to get it. Like they might have to walk an entire, I don't know, they walk like an entire day there and an entire day back. So they don't have abundance, and they don't have abundance mentality around it. So they have to care, all right? They don't have it, so they have to care. There is no amount of mindset hacks or reframes or philosophical freaking pontification that you could give them to be like, oh, well, it's all a mentality. Just think that, no, they actually need the fucking water. So it's impossible for them to not care. Now, bring it back to pickup. When guys say they don't care, they don't actually mean that they don't care, okay? It sounds kind of like a cool thing to say, but that's not what they literally mean. So not caring means that you don't care about any one individual result because you know that overall you're going to get what you want. Basically, you stop caring about negative results because you know that eventually you're going to get a positive result. So, you know, if I do an approach and I immediately get rejected, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't care. But the reason I don't care is because I know eventually I will get a number, and eventually I will get a date, and eventually I will get laid. So it's easy for me to not care in the moment because I know overall I'm going to get laid eventually. These are the only things that work, okay? The only things that actually make you outcome independent, and it's not just some kind of surface level mindset you have, and it's not just a thing you think or a philosophy that exists out there that you're trying to implement. The only way you actually do not care is if you have abundance and abundance mentality, or you actually don't care, which basically means there's actually only two options, because the only reason you're even watching this video is because you actually do care to some degree. I actually care to some degree. If all of a sudden I was doing approaches and all of a sudden my number acquisition rate went to 10% what it is now, all of a sudden I would start caring. I'd be like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I like, do I look fucking bad all of a sudden? I would all of a sudden start to care. The reason I don't care is built on the fact that I've done all the things and done all the work to know that I can get the thing I want. And like I said before, what doesn't work is reframes, mindset hacks, philosophies, basically all these thinking related things and all this theorizing and extrapolation and all that other stuff. That doesn't work. Okay, it might possibly make you feel a little bit better or give you a little bit of perspective that can make it a little bit easier to do the work to actually get abundance or an abundance mentality. But just thinking anything related to thinking or philosophy or fucking mindsets or hacks or whatever. Just doing that will not get you all the way. It won't. It'll get you 10 or 20% of the way, maybe absolute max. But in order to actually not care, you have to do the work. You have to improve your SMV. You have to overcome your fears. You have to go out there and you have to socialize. You have to talk to girls. You have to escalate. You have to get over your fears and your insecurities. You have to actually do that and do it consistently over a long period of time so that you can get to the point where you don't care. So to sum up, very, very huge bird's eye view, what you have to do to get abundance is increase your SMV, specifically your physical SMV. All right, go to the gym, dress better, groom yourself better, get like a haircut, all that other bullshit. Go out and socialize, talk to people, work on your general social skills, go out and approach women, talk to them, actually escalate, actually ask for the number, actually ask them on a date. When they're on the date, go for the pull every single time. When they're back at your place, actually try to have sex with them, like go in for the kiss. And then if they take the kiss, now try to take their clothes off. And when their clothes are off, try and put your dick inside them, okay? That's it. Now, obviously, I'm making it sound a lot more simple than it actually is. I mean, I just described literally the entirety of pickup, but I'm just saying that's what you have to do, okay? There is no easy way. Now, you might think that this is actually kind of a lot of work. And yes, you're right. It is a lot of work, and you have to actually care a lot to get to the point where you don't care, all right? Any mindset or any belief that you have, not just in pickup, but just in life in general, all right? You have to earn that belief. You have to earn that mindset, all right? You have to actually go out there and do the things and get feedback from the world. And once you do that consistently over a long period of time and you start doing more and more and more things, it solidifies. And now all of a sudden you firmly have that belief. Not, oh, it's a thing you saw online, or, oh, that's a good way to think about it. No, it's not this detached, oh, wow, oh, that's a nice little quote I found. It's a solid belief. You actually believe it. You believe, okay, if I go out and approach, I'm going to get laid eventually. I just will. I fucking know for sure it'll happen. If I get rejected, it's not a big deal. Jesus Christ, that car was going really fucking close. Anyway. What was I fucking talking about? Oh, yeah. God damn it, that thing fucking threw me off. I'm not even going to edit this out. I don't give a shit. But basically, yeah, you have to actually go through all the work so that it's an actual belief. Not even a belief, it's a fact. Me going out and knowing I can get laid if I just approach enough, it's not a belief. It's not even open. It's not even up for discussion. It's a fact like gravity. Just, yes, I do this and then this thing happens. To get to that point, I had to approach a shitload of girls. I had to go on a bunch of dates. I had to overcome a whole bunch of fears, overcome insecurities, do a bunch of self-reflections, get rejected, be embarrassed, fucking question my life, wonder why the fuck am I even doing this? Like, I earned being able to not give a shit about being rejected. That is what you have to do. That is the only way to actually get to that point. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a silver lining, okay? Because this kind of sounds all like super hardcore, like, oh, do the work, fucking Sigma grind set, all that other bullshit, okay? So the silver lining is this, all right? You actually don't need to be completely outcome independent to get laid, all right? You don't need to be completely secure in yourself to get laid, all right? You can be a little bit needy. You can be a little bit insecure. Actually, you can have a decent amount of fucking insecurities. You can not be optimal and still do pretty well. If you actually do all the things you're supposed to, which is, again, improve your SMV. Like, look at my Reddit post of, I can't remember the title. It's my journey, kind kind of like my pickup journey. It has my before and after pictures, okay? It shows what I used to look like versus what I look like right now, okay? If I still looked like I used to, I would get laid nowhere near as much as I do now. I'm not saying I'm like fucking an Adonis or anything like that, but I look drastically better than I used to, all right? So you need to go through the hard work of improving your SMV, overcoming your fears, overcoming approach anxiety, which you do by approaching while you're nervous, and then eventually you just become not nervous. You have to actually escalate. You have to actually have conversations and be more expressive and not be afraid to do certain things. You have to do all of this, all right? And if you do all of this, even if you do all this and you're a little bit needy, or you're still a little bit sensitive while doing all this, you still will get laid. Like, every girl out there isn't some uber fucking bitch. It's like looking for any little sign of fucking weakness. Like, in some ways, girl standards are high, but in some ways they're also not. All right. If you just perform the outer actions of what you need to do, you can actually have a lot of inner game issues and still get laid. Now, will you be at the absolute max peak potential of what you could possibly achieve? No. But on your way to fixing all those inner game issues, you can still get laid and have fun along the way. All right. So that's the silver lining. All right. You have to do all that stuff to get to the point of not caring, but you don't have to completely not care and be super secure in yourself to actually get laid. Also, you actually don't get over your outcome dependence by directly focusing on getting over your outcome dependence. Outcome independence is a result of generating abundance. All right. So again, what you do is you go out there, make all the improvements, get laid, get some plates, whatever, or maybe not even get some plates. Maybe you only ever get to the point where it's like you have one new girl a month and then you have one consistent plate, whatever. Okay. You, over the course of doing this and generating more abundance, the outcome independence naturally happens. You actually don't need to focus on it at all. It's kind of the equivalent of, if you want to build muscle, you don't just think about building muscle. You don't sit there and flex and imagine your fucking muscle fibers tearing. You go to the gym and you lift weights, go to failure, and then as a result of doing that, you build muscle. You don't build muscle by thinking about building muscle. It's the same thing with caring and outcome independence. You go out there, generate the abundance, and naturally you will become more outcome independent. Now, me telling you to take all this action, you're probably not going to want to accept it, because a lot of the pickup industry, it's based a lot around mindsets and how to be confident and how to make the girl chase you. It's so not action oriented. It's fucking crazy. You have to be confident this way and how to make her feel and blah blah blah, all this other dumb shit. So much of it is not focused on just, hey, take this action, take a fuckload of it, and eventually you get the thing that you want. All right. So with this, it might be, if you were thinking, watching this video, that I was going to give you a thing to where it's like, hey, I can just think this thing in the moment and wow, all of a sudden I don't care. Like, that's not what's going to happen. And the reason I'm making this is to actually cut your learning curve, because you could be for multiple years just spinning your wheels and being like, man, I've tried every mindset hack. I've fucking every single philosophy and every way to reframe it and look at it, but I still care. It's like, okay, but have you actually talked to fucking girls? Well, no, because I can't talk to girls until I'm already outcome independent. No, that's not how it fucking works. All right. You do the shit while being insecure. You do the shit while being outcome dependent. And eventually you're not outcome dependent. Eventually you feel the negative emotions for long enough and you become immune to them. And also they just lessen because you're actually getting the thing you want. And then you get what you want. All right. It's a long process. You're going to feel bad for a long period of time, or you're going to feel insecure, or you're going to wonder, hey, I'm uncertain of if I'm even making improvement and blah, blah, blah. oh well, that's just how it is. All the guys who got to a really high point in this and got really good results and got to where they wanted to be, they had to go through this. So if you're sitting here thinking, well, that's not fair, oh, that's bullshit, well, this other person has it easier, and well, that takes too long, and well, no, what's something I can do right now? I don't feel sorry for her if you don't get what you want. While you're sitting there saying that's too much work and that's going to take too long, there's another guy who says, you know what, that's not too much work and that's not going to take too long. And then 2 years from now, he's going to take the girl that you want and he's going to fucking laugh at you for not doing the same shit he did. He's not going to give a fuck. He didn't think it took too long. He just took your fucking girl. All right? Just think about that. Anytime you're thinking about, well, this is too long, but I don't want to. It's scary. Oh. It's like, okay, there's another guy watching this right now. Oh, no, that's not scary. Okay, I'm just going to do it. And he takes your shit. All right, so that was a little bit of emotional roller coaster. I told you the hard stuff. I gave you a silver lining, and then I gave you a harsh reality check. All right, but that's, you know what? That's how the journey to get better at this stuff is going to go. So you got to get used to it now. All right. But yeah, just to sum it all up, okay? No thinking works. No thinking works at all. You have to do work, and you have to do work over a long period of time, and it's not just that you have to do work. You have to overcome fears, and you have to do things that you're scared to do, and you have to keep doing them, because once you get over one fear, now you go to the next level, and there's an even greater fear you got to overcome. But what happens is, as you overcome more and more fears, each progressive fear actually gets easier. So going from like 0 to 1 is extremely difficult, okay? But then going from like 6 to 7 is actually pretty easy, even though it's drastically scarier, because you've already built the muscle of overcoming fears and overcoming all this other stuff, like, you know, emotional, like negative emotions and all that stuff, that actually by the time you get to the really hard stuff, it's actually easier than going from nothing to just overcoming that first little thing of approach anxiety, all right? You have to start at some point. It's going to take how long it takes. It might take you 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever. No matter what, it's going to take that amount of time. So you might as well start as soon as you can. All right, that's it.